Ken, yeah,
Yo,
what do you think
yeah.
of Dread? What do you think of
Dread.
Dread?
Talking about the Metroid Dread. The
Metroid,
Metroid
yeah,
Dread.
the
Yeah.
only Dread I'm
The
feeling right
judge.
now, the
The
Dread,
judge.
just
yeah,
Judge Dredd.
just the
Judge Dread,
overall
no,
sense of dread about the world and where
not
things are
that
going.
Dread.
No, I just got it. I got it in the mail. I have not played it, but it is in my hand right
You
now.
just
It is like
show it to
in my
me.
in my hot hand.
You got it.
Is
He's got it in his hands.
yeah,
It's not
yeah.
focused.
It is.
Can't
It's
see
blurred
the
out.
It's right
beautiful.
there.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Nintendo,
that was the-
Yeah.
Nintendo, and their.
I thought that was the
Yeah.
X-rated version. It's like, oh, we had to blur it out.
No. I did not get that special edition.
No man,
No.
Nintendo's so good at censoring content creators that they jumped on it while we were recording it. It
Automatically
wasn't even on the
blurs.
internet, man. It's just that
Oh,
good.
man.
That's
Nintendo
nuts.
wants to know your location and your
Yeah.
preferred starting salary.
You didn't
Yeah.
know I had to allow our location to Nintendo before I started
Yeah.
recording this. Like, come on.
Oh
man.
yeah,
That's what they do, man.
That's standard
Okay,
operating
so you
procedure.
haven't played it yet.
No, I've been dying to all week. It's been a painful week, but I tell you what, I'm opening it
Painful
right
doesn't
now.
describe it, Ken.
I'm gonna put it
I
in my
would be
Switch right now.
dead. You're gonna put it in your Switch.
I've got it right here. I'm gonna stick this game in here, and I might be quiet for the next hour.
Ken, I wouldn't have survived, man. I wouldn't have lasted this long. I've got to commend you on your
Yeah.
ability to make it through tough times.
So
Yeah,
the wild.
I'm assuming you didn't wait.
No,
Yeah.
I've crushed it. It's about done.
One.
I've
Almost
100%
Mastered it.
collected all the items and all the areas, and I'm about to beat the last boss of the
Last
game.
boss.
Yep.
Man.
How
Which
long would
I
you
hear
say
is
it
very
is?
hard.
How long would you say it is?
I think I've beaten it quicker than most. But everyone has been saying it's about a 10 to 12 hour experience, which is on the longer end of Metroid games.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a Kena.
2D games anyway.
Kana.
Kana. Bridge of
Like a Kana.
Spirits.
Spirits.
No, it's sprites, bro. You're not saying it right.
Kana Bridge of
The sprites,
Sprouts?
man. They spell it how they want to, and they say it how they want to. It's Kana
Bridge of
Sprites,
Sprouts.
motherfucker. All right, yeah, no, Kana Bridge of Spirits. All right,
Yeah.
but no, yeah. So it's on. Prime games are the longest games in the series. They were the 3D first person shooters, and they were the longest games in the series, running about 20 hours a piece or so. And as far as 2D games go, Metroid Dread is on the longer end of them. It's probably the longest. And the thing I got to really praise it for, man, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff, been obviously wanting to hear other people's opinions. I've been on the good old front page of the internet Reddit and scouring through it and listening to what people have to say about it. And a lot of people, surprisingly enough, are complaining that it's too linear.
Gamers?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What?
That doesn't sound like gamers.
Complaining?
Especially Nintendo.
What?
I'm actually surprised that the Nintendo fans are complaining, because usually when Nintendo graces them with a video game, they just
And a lot of
slurp it
people
up.
feel that way, and they say the same
Yeah.
things. And what's just surprising to me is that, and so I will say the game can feel linear. And Metroid Fusion on the Game Boy Advance was more of a linear experience. There weren't so many secrets and things to find and ways you could go around. So in Super Metroid, there might be a late game item that you probably weren't expected to get for a long time. But you could find a way and get it early. You could get it early accidentally or by trying your hardest to exploit the game and what you can do with abilities. So you could get some stuff super early and do different things, right?
Yeah.
And
But it's still a
points.
fairly linear path, though. I mean, there's certain beats that have to happen in the order they happen, but they gave you some freedom. So you think there's just a little less freedom than like Super Metroid?
So no, and that's the beauty of it. So people,
Yeah.
and I'm
He's
gonna
saying
get,
there's more.
I'm gonna get into that. So there is a linear path, and that's good because a lot of, from what it seems, there's a lot of new people to the series that have never played a Metroid game before. It's crazy. I know, because so many games have been inspired by the Metroid franchise that it's crazy to hear that there's a
whole genre,
a whole bunch of people right now that have a Switch and they've never played a Metroid game. But they're excited, they bought it, they love it, and now
Nintendo
sales
like to
have
make 'em.
skyrocketed for the older games.
Oh, that's great.
They have skyrocketed. It's insane. People are now going and buying the older games and playing them. So to that point,
Full price.
yeah. Well, for whatever the Wii U emulates it at right now, right? Because the Wii U is basically the emulator for the old games, so you can play.
You saying people are buying games on their Wii U?
Yeah.
Oh my god!
They cracked the code. They figured it out.
I need to go dig mine out.
Yeah. Well,
the Wii U, the Wii U connects to the internet now.
So right
That's
now,
awesome.
the Switch has the system where it's got the Super Nintendo games that they launch every month, and you get free as long as it's not free, but it's like Xbox Game Pass, right? So as long as you're paying the monthly price, you have access to a Super Nintendo library, a Nintendo library, and now they've expressed that they are creating an N64 library, which is also super cool. If nobody knew that, you now
very
have the
hard to
ability-
emulate the N64 is.
Ooh, no kidding.
So I've heard.
So they are giving you N64 games as well. That's going to be awesome. Cannot wait to play that again. The thing is, they've remade these games, not remade them, but they've put them on consoles for you to buy before, right? So
Interjection.
what's that?
Random interjection. Favorite N64 game, Ken?
Oh my man, you can't just throw that at me. Oh my god!
Don't think about it. I want right off the top.
Oh man. I mean, I want to just say Mario 64 because it's such an awesome game, but as far as
It ain't GoldenEye, I'll tell you that.
Your favorite. What's your favorite?
My favorite? You know what? I really like Star Fox 64, man, because it had
It's
a really
Captain
fun,
Nick Penny.
yeah, and it had a great
Wow.
four-player
Yeah.
mode. You could play. I played the four-player a lot. You had the little tanks you go around shooting and stuff. I mean, I don't know if that's my favorite. I mean, there's Wave Race. There's tons. You know, both of the Zelda games on 64.
The Donkey Kong
fantastic.
games were dope.
I'm gonna put you down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you down for Star Fox 64.
Okay. That's fine because I would stand by that. That's a good game. That's a good ass game. I'll take that.
Ocarina, it's Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time. Majora's Mask.
Both
Which
of
one
them,
do you like better?
Oh my god, picking your favorite child right now.
They're the same game.
Which child is your favorite?
They're the same game.
They're the same game.
And different times. Yeah, it's just part 1 and part 2. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Diddy Kong
it
Racing
made
for
sense,
me.
didn't it?
Yeah.
Diddy Kong Racing for me. I love Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong Racing
Diddy Kong was good.
Diddy Kong Racing,
man.
Yeah.
awesome.
Diddy Kong Racing was
That was
awesome.
a lot of fun.
Like
Yeah.
the combat.
Did you play the
part of
Donkey
it.
Kong games though? Like the standalone Donkey Kong 64 games?
I played Donkey Kong 64, man.
There's
I
two of them,
love
wasn't
that.
there, or was there just one? I can't remember.
I don't remember. I
think there's only one.
The other one.
DK64.
Or
Yeah.
64.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
He's the leader
Get
of
the
the
song,
bunch.
yeah.
You know him well, and he's finally back to tell
changing my
his
answer.
tale. Man, that song was lit, son.
My favorite
Yeah.
64 game,
love it.
Conker's
I love it.
Bad Fur Day. That's
I
it.
never played
Conker's-
it. I
Oh my
never
God.
played it.
Conker's
Never
Bad
played
Fur
it.
Day is insane.
I've
That
heard.
game is off the rails.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
must
probably
look
wasn't
that up.
things.
mature enough. Yeah.
Probably not.
Good
Yeah.
things.
Probably.
the-
I heard a lot of good things about Conkers, and I hear still a lot of people want to play it more.
I would
They
love
want another
Oh, a
Conkers.
sequel?
They
Yeah.
want
because it's Microsoft. They own that now. It's part of Rare.
Yeah, Rare.
And they did make a remaster of Conquer on the original Xbox, the OG Xbox, and you can still get it on the current generation Xbox, and it's like $10. You can buy it, and it they up-resed it and stuff, and it runs better. But yeah, it's still a good game.
Highly doubt they're going to put out a second version of that.
Someday, I don't know. It's in their property list, and you never know.
Sometimes when you think they're not going to make another game, another studio gets scooped up to make it, and there you have it again.
Well,
So
I didn't think they'd make another Perfect Dark, and they're making another Perfect Dark. So they could do it.
Good point.
I'd be very
Good
excited
point.
to see a Conquer game.
All right, so let's get back to what I was saying.
Yeah, Metroid. Talk about Metroid. Yeah,
There's a linear path that the story does take you through, right?
Okay.
And if you just follow it, you'll be fine. There's some exploration you can do, but you can kind of get lost in the path if you don't take the time to say, okay, I'm going to take a break from the path right now, right? But then, so that's why a lot of people are saying, oh, it's too linear. It's just I follow the... But then people have found what they call sequence breaking, and the main story, the path line that they give you being the sequence. So they call it sequence breaking. And
Right.
and they're not the really cool thing about this is they're not breaking the game. They're not glitching it because these are developer made sequence breakings. So I don't want to go into too much detail. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone that's listening. But if you've played a Metroid, Super Metroid, and you found an item early, you were sequence breaking. It didn't break the game.
No.
Right.
You were just allowed to do that. And so the beauty of it is they followed the typical secret Metroid fashion of secrets and exploring, where you're rewarded if you find a way to get something early. And
that's one of my favorite things about open world games at all. Like, I love in an open world game, whether it be Fallout or Skyrim, going to like a really high level area and be like, okay, if I can kind of sneak around or survive, maybe I'll get a weapon or something that's like really high level and I can use it, you know? I love that. That's the whole point of open world games, or not the whole point, but like that's one of the big things about open world I really like.
Right. I like how Metroid would have the area that it was either the water area or lava or something, and you could try to get through part of it, and you could get into the area, but you're just going to die. You couldn't get to any place.
Yeah, the suit to stay in for a long time.
Exactly, but it was kind of neat that you could try to explore it and poke around in there, even if you couldn't get.
And
to
you
where
might be able to not go through the whole area there, but you might get far enough to find a missile upgrade and give you more missiles or something, and then go, okay, I'm out of this bitch. All right, I found something cool. Come back later. But you didn't know until you tried, until you bombed every square inch of every pixelated tile on that screen.
Once you got the scanner, I was scanning every room.
I scanned everything, man. Yeah. I went through every room and scanned everything. And
use a super bomb. You use a super bomb in every room. It's like maybe it'll open something.
And that's the beauty of this, because it's the same way in this game. And that's what everyone was worried about. And that was what people a day after having the game were crying about. But they didn't spend time really looking deep, and now they're all eating crow about it. It's so funny, dude. Because they put a path before them, people followed it, complained the game was too linear. It wasn't like Super Metroid where you can go explore and find things, and then they're finding all these speedrunners right now that have found crazy stuff that are beating the game in 2 hours. They're beating the game in sub 2 hours, bro. World record right now is like an hour and 55 minutes for a 12-hour game. So... and Metroid series
don't complain, man. They just gotta work.
Well, the Metroid series has always prided itself on the speedrunning community, even since Super Metroid. If you could find a way to sequence break and beat the game faster, at the end of the game, this is your completion time. They were promoting speedrunners before even
that was one of the first games you could do it because
it
had a clock. And then the original game, you got rewarded by seeing her out of the suit, and that was like a big motivation to.
So the big thing that's different...
The big motivation for you, kid?
When you're a kid, it was.
So the big thing that's really cool about the difference between the sequence breaking and Super Nintendo, Super Metroid from now Metroid Dread, is that there is actually animations for boss battles. You can basically, if you sequence break and you find an item early... You can insta-kill bosses, and there's a new animation that you would have never seen if you didn't use what you found to kill them. So it's developer-made sequence breaking, so you're supposed to.
That's
they've made cool animations that you would never see unless you do. So, man, I really give it to Mercury Steam. They've done an amazing job with taking care of the franchise. And it's just so funny to have seen everyone complain about it a day after having it. And not really fully exploring. And I know, well, it made it kind of weird, right? Because, for instance, if there's a secret item hidden somewhere, the rooms will blink on the map. But that doesn't tell you all the secrets that the game has. So people are thinking, if it's not a blinking room, I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to look. But you do. So it's just helping you find certain items that
the things that you have to have.
The secrets that you can really find are, so the blinking rooms will help you find 100%, like missile tank upgrades, energy tank upgrades. But the secrets you find to sequence break are secrets, and you have to find them.
right.
It's
All
awesome. Really cool. I am loving Dread so far. I don't want to say too much. We'll talk more again after you've played it.
I've got a few questions for you. These are non-spoilery questions. First of all, are you playing it handheld or on TV? I assume TV, but
I've done both.
are you okay? And you're playing with a Pro controller or the remotes?
So when I'm playing it in
Joy-Con.
handheld mode, I'm playing with the
Yeah.
Joy-Cons
Okay.
equipped, and I will tell you, it does look better handheld.
Okay, it
When
does
it's
look better
on,
handheld.
when it's docked
Okay.
and on my screen, it is stretched,
Okay.
which is
And-
unfortunate, but it's not a deal breaker. I can still play
Yeah.
that way. It still looks good, but it just looks
Surprising.
cleaner. There's more. The pixels pack more of a punch when you see it smaller on the screen there. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And other thing is, how do you feel about the sound design? Because to me, Metroid games, the sound design is so good in the series, and that's a huge part of the game for me. Like, just what's your impression
Yeah.
of it so far?
Dude, I agree. I remember the screen of Metroid, Super Metroid, and when it comes up, it's eerie. It's black. There's
Yeah.
some colored pixels of displaying dead people around. There's dead bodies.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
a Super Nintendo game. There's dead bodies on the ground, and a capsule of a organism, which is a Metroid, breaking out of it, and it's like. And then it's like got this eerie sound about it. Just that screen alone, that title screen at the beginning of the game, sets the tone for the whole game, and it follows through beautifully. My weakest complaint, the weakest part about this title is the soundtrack, in my opinion.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate to say. It is not bad by any means, and they do use a lot of familiar sounds done in different ways that still pay homage to the series, but to me, unfortunately, the soundtrack is weaker than it's been in any game, which is sad because every Metroid fan looks forward to a bomb, eerie soundtrack, and this one kind of, and they went with someone different from what I understand. They went with a different team that would normally do the music, and I don't know, maybe they were worried about screwing it up, so they played it safe or something. I don't know, but
so it's okay, but it's
not
nothing
bad,
to like write home about.
but
Yeah,
it's not the
like,
most memorable part of the game for me. So
Gotcha.
sorry to say,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. It's not a game changer. It's not a deal breaker. It's still Metroid. It still sounds great, and it's one of the best Metroids you'll play, at least right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I will be playing it this week.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to hear your opinion. I'm really stoked to talk to you about it. Anre, you got
Glad
anything?
I'm glad you guys are having fun, man.
Yeah, man.
Or one of you is and one of you will be.
Yeah.
Next time you visit or we see each other, I want to see you play it just for a minute. Doesn't have to be long. I'd like to see your opinion on a Metroid game, you know? Yeah, see how you take it. It's a short game, so probably beat it in half a day.
Yeah, I mean, I might even play, Super Metroid.
Oh, you should.
If you can, you definitely should. I highly
Did you ever
recommend
get
it.
one of those classic SNES? It's like the little mini one because it has it on there, and there's
Oh yeah.
Like,
How would you play it? So you don't have a Nintendo system, but
I have a Vita.
And can you play it on the Vita?
Yeah,
there are ways.
With enough dedication and time and effort, you can play.
Bro, if you can, I would love to. I would love to have a talk with you about that game. That would mean the world to me if you took the time to play it just for a conversation with me.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna talk about the Vita now, because that's a good segue.
Okay, what we got?
I was actually gonna talk about something else, but you know what? I had my Vita. We bought ours at the same time, 2014, and I think we both feel the same way about the Vita. We love the Vita. It's an amazing piece of tech. We don't commute to work.
Yeah.
We don't have public transportation.
Right.
We drive our cars.
We don't have Elon Musk's automated system yet. You know, we can't just
we don't take the trolley like they do in San Francisco, or the bus or the train like they do in Japan.
We can't ride in Mary Poppins basket.
Or handhelds are huge in Japan, And so usually when we play games, we're at home. And if we're at home, why not get the big boy out? Why not get the PS4 out or the PS5? And that's how I feel about it. It's like it's not even its fault that Sony kind of lost interest. And the hardware, the PSP, the Vita, and the PSP sold well. The problem was they didn't sell a lot of games. The attach rate wasn't good. the PSP got emulated immediately.
Yeah.
And then the Vita, they were so strict and they went so far in the other direction that it was kind of limiting for a bit. But it's amazing how, like, first of all, you can get a very good Vita, right? Because I bought one for a friend of mine. I didn't buy it, but I researched it for a friend of mine. He got it. You get it for $150.
Okay.
You get a very good. You get a like new or very good Vita with no scratches on it.
Okay.
And I mean, you can play PSP games on that thing. You can play the Vita games on it are beautiful still. I love Freedom Wars. I love Uncharted. There are so many good games. And then if you are so inclined and you mod your Vita, and again, they are no longer selling the Vita. So, but if you mod your Vita, then you can play Genesis games on it, Super Nintendo games, PlayStation games. I mean, and all of this on the go with a beautiful OLED screen. I love the OLED version.
Yeah.
I have the OLED as well.
Not the slim, yeah.
OLED
I think
looks beautiful. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It really
I
is.
saw a side-by-side comparison today, and there is a difference. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
For
Definitely.
sure.
The blacks are totally different on the OLED. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, the internet still works. It still connects to the PSN. You can still buy games.
Yeah.
You can still play local multiplayer. And it was ahead of its time because I listened to you guys talk about the Switch. And the Switch is an amazing piece of tech. This isn't anti this or anti that.
Right.
But I don't know. I feel like the Vita was let down a lot by its marketing because how many people know that you could connect the Vita to a PS TV and play Vita games on your TV?
Yeah.
How many people knew that? You know what I mean? Years before the Switch was released, at least 5 years, probably 6 or 7, because the Vita kind of ended around like 2014, 2015. So they had console gaming on the go for a while because the Uncharted not Drake's Fortune, but Golden Abyss. I mean, that's a really good game with really great graphics.
That is a full-on console level game that's on a portable.
The difference, I think, here, real quick, I don't know if you're continuing to go, but if I can have a segue real quick.
Yeah, please.
Difference here, I think, is that, it was ahead of its time. It did this great thing, but the Switch, not so much an innovator of it as they were an ease of making it.
Ease of use.
Making it easily accessible and usable.
I agree.
And the
plug and play.
Not only that, but it's their main console right now, right?
Right. Well, they combine
which is the big difference here too, because PlayStation, so if they made, and it'll happen. One day it'll happen. All consoles are all handheld if they want to be, right? They'll be handheld and they'll still look as good when you dock it, whatever, right? That's possible. But Nintendo has a handheld market, and the Nintendo I remember most is holding it.
Yeah. I agree. They're the kings of the handheld.
Not just holding it. I played Super Metroid on a Super Nintendo with a pad, but I took my Game Boy everywhere. I did everything with it when I could, and then when I was home, I played other stuff. But it just made sense. Like that's their space, right?
The Vita is technically more impressive as a piece of tech, way more impressive than the DS and the 3DS. Yeah. But they both just
Nintendo is always running behind on the tech. They had the old green and white Game Boy that went against a Game Gear, and it kicked the Game Gear's butt. I mean, and it
was the games, though. It was the game.
It was totally the game. Yeah,
I think that's why we always say, especially me, it's all about the games. It's all about the software.
Yeah.
I mean, the Xbox Series X, right? We're not talking about the newest generation, but the X was more powerful. Still is, obviously. Than not the Series X, the Xbox One X.
One X
was more powerful than the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
Full stop. It was more powerful. Yeah. But nobody nobody cares about playing Assassin's Creed at a slightly better like resolution.
I'm sure a couple people do, but
it wasn't even that really good. It's like, oh, this looks a little better. It's not like this one had 60 frames and this one had 30 because they weren't that big. But like one of them has The Last of Us Part 2, one of them has Ghost of Tsushima, and the other had nothing. When the Xbox One X came out, they were just waiting, man, and they're still kind of waiting. But we're starting to see games come out for the Xbox brand. We're starting to see that those seeds that they planted back in the day when they had nothing for years, first party. We're starting to see that sprout. But that just goes to show, like, there were handhelds, and that is huge in Japan. That is huge in a lot of the world. But it's all about the software. That's where you got your Pokemon games, which sell crazy twice. I mean, they resell the same game every time.
It's like we get a release game twice at the same time.
Buy both of them.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
The people who love Pokemon, they buy both of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's smart. That's really smart because you're going to get your casuals and then you're going to get your hardcore guys twice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they've always had Mario.
I'll tell you something real quick.
They've always had
Pokemon is a game I can play handheld, right? I wouldn't want to play Metal Gear Solid on a handheld. Okay.
I will say this though. I
say that because I have, and I loved it. It was a great game.
I love Peace Walker though.
It was a great game.
Have you played Peace Walker?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But to put it further, Back 4 Blood, first-person shooter. We just picked that up. We haven't tried it out yet. I would not want to play that on a handheld.
Oh God, no.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Although
no, you're right. There's a power. There's a power.
The Steam Deck's coming.
Requirement.
Yeah.
it'll
not even a
play
power
on a Steam
requirement.
Deck. Yeah.
I don't want to play a first-person shooter like this.
No. Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? There's certain games I don't want to play like this, right? Metroid Dread is perfect for that. It's a 2D game.
I agree.
It's perfect for a handheld fashion. I don't want to play Breath of the Wild handheld. I've done it a couple times, but it's not my preferred method. I'd rather dock it and play with a Pro controller. You know what I'm saying? And that's the point I'm getting at. So, Nintendo has the games that you can get away with and love playing handheld, right?
Did you ever play Metroid Hunters on the DS?
I played it, yeah. Hell yeah.
That was such a weird game.
It was.
Because you played with the stylus in one hand and your other hand on the control stick and the shoulder buttons. It was such a weird... It worked, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still pretty fun to play, and the way you aimed, I don't know. It was neat. They tried to fit a Metroid Prime game into a handheld.
Yeah, Nintendo did what Nintendo does, right?
Yeah.
But it worked. I didn't play a lot of it because, it worked, but, you know...
It was a little awkward.
Weird,
A little awkward, yeah.
But it was intuitive, and it was fun to try out and learn.
It worked better than I thought it would. Yeah.
But that was it. I just wanted to give a big salute
shout out to the Vita.
The Vita community in 2021. It is alive and strong. The Vita has a whole lot of power and a whole lot of potential, and they're getting everything they can out of the device. And I agree with you. I don't want to play The Last of Us Part 2 on the Vita.
There you go, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Especially because, Ellie's liable to sneak up behind you. You never know where that chick's going to be. All right?
It's not like Miami, man. As long as you're not playing that game,
when you're playing your Vita,
take
them off. All right,
could be a clicker behind you.
Yeah.
Keep your wits about you.
Could be Ellie.
Could be the gaming's apex predator.
Could be
all right, Ellie.
Could be a Nintendo Switch coming at you with Metroid Dread, because you know what the Vita doesn't have?
Metroid Dread. No.
Well, Anre, I'm glad you brought up the Vita, because that kind of ties into my thing tonight that I want to talk about. It does, really perfectly.
I don't believe it.
I love a good segue.
It's a little bit of a rant. It's something that it doesn't make sense to me. It's these the game manufacturers that will gimp their consoles. They'll do something to it that's otherwise great, a great piece of hardware, and there'll be something that's so obvious that they just miss. Like with the Vita, it was the memory card. The memory card completely crippled that system. And it didn't have to be that way. I feel like it would have been a ton more successful if they would have just put a micro SD or even an SD, whatever, some kind of standard memory card in that would have done tons better. Like, and I would have downloaded more games for it. They would have ended up making more money because I'd be like, hey, my memory card's full. I don't really want to buy that game anyway.
Let me say something real quick.
Yeah.
To your point, like a 32 gigabyte memory stick.
Yeah. On the Vita.
The Vita
yeah.
is like right now it's like $150. 64 is like $300.
It's
way
insane.
more than the Vita.
Yeah.
Way
Because a
more than
micro
the
SD
Vita.
card is like $10 for 32 gig or less than that.
Wow.
You probably get one
Yeah.
for $5 somewhere.
I
It's
bought a
stupid.
128 gigabyte with an adapter.
Oh my god!
Because again, my Vita is special, so I can have regular memory sticks, which you know, if you want more than 4 games, you're gonna need it unless you're spending twice as much for the system for the card. 128 gigabytes. Guess how much I paid for that for a memory stick?
Oh my god!
$40.
$20.
What?
$20. And then I had to get the adapters, the special adapter you buy again, the community. The adapter is about $5.
Right.
Wow.
See,
awesome.
it's like the technology was there, but Sony, they got a little too greedy.
I'm just asking. Did they have the ability to use something else when they were making
absolutely.
this?
100%. Because
they went full Apple basically.
Yeah.
They said you're going to use our proprietary. Know, because like you everybody has USB-C to charge their phones, their devices, everything, right? It doesn't matter what it is, unless it's an iPhone. Then you got to go to Apple and buy their overpriced stuff.
Actually, I just heard
they did the same thing, except it's even worse because it was way more expensive.
Way expensive,
and still is.
And there wasn't any other benefit to it. It wasn't like it was so much faster than an SD card or something. It's like it didn't hold more space. It was like just for the sake of making something different, they did it.
Those numbers are 2021 that I gave you. Yeah, that's how much it cost to buy a Vita stick, a Vita that's been discontinued, left in the dust for years. That's how much it costs now.
Anre, like 5 years from now, it'll probably be over $200, easy, because you won't be able to get them. It'll be just people who are collectors that want those, pieces of hardware. But the thing is, they're still doing it. My original topic was how the game consoles don't let you use your Bluetooth headset with the game console. And Nintendo actually unlocked that feature in the Switch like a month ago. They said, oh, you can use your Bluetooth headset with the Switch now. And people are giving them crap like they should have done that from day one, blah, blah, blah. It's like, wait a second. The PS4, the PS5, none of the Xboxes, none of them let you use a Bluetooth headset, and they all have Bluetooth built into them. They could do it. Yeah.
I know the PS3 Bluetooth was the only way. And then I'm pretty sure I thought you could on the PS4 or PS5.
No, not just a regular headset. Only if you have the Sony branded wireless headset. That's the only way you can have
on my PS4. I use my Afterglow.
Yeah.
What kind of is it Bluetooth or is it? Because I have tried multiple Bluetooth headsets and they will not work.
I had a little dongle, so I think it was just wireless.
You had a dongle.
So you're saying
you have to get a dongle.
Bluetooth. All right.
Yeah, because it has that Bluetooth functionality built into the system that they could just firmware update, unlock, and then you could use your AirPods or whatever you want, And
I'd love to use my AirPods on my Switch, man. That'd be dope. You're telling me I can do that now?
You can now. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Put your firmware, put them in, you're good. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really cool. I love my AirPods, man.
Yeah.
I
they're
love
amazing.
my AirPods,
Yeah, they're fantastic. And
that's cool.
I just don't know, why would you hinder your system, I guess, when you have the ability to make it a little more user-friendly?
I don't think it's hindering the system. I think they're trying to think about money and can we make money just having them buy our stuff? Yeah. And I think the beauty of it though is that they realized early that it would be smarter for them to just let people use what they want to and unlock that feature. Whereas, like you said, the Vita went full Apple. They were like, no, you're going to use our stuff and you're going to buy it. And now people are mad about it because
that was a decision that could not change. Once they locked that in, there was no change in that.
Yeah.
It was
the design plans. That's how they're being manufactured.
It was one of the biggest reasons for the slow, sad death of the Vita.
It was.
Which is ironic because Vita means life. I will say that sometimes there's two things.
Doesn't life also mean death?
No.
It
One,
does, because life is death. When you're born, you die eventually. So it's one and the same.
Okay.
Death and life are the same. Man.
Born into death.
well, I mean,
Man,
when you're born,
thing.
you start dying. Yeah,
Yeah, right there.
I guess you're slowly dying.
So the Vita is still dying.
Real quick, I wanted to say that I think I saw an article. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, if I haven't lost my mind or saw a fake article or The Onion or something, but I believe that Apple is being forced to change the method at which they have chargers, and they're being forced to use USB-Cs like everyone else.
Because
Really?
the European Union has an initiative to cut down on e-waste because people have so many cables, and they want to just say, here's one type of cable. It's not just iPhones; it's like laptops too. Laptops are all gonna have to be USB-C.
And USB-Cs are so good.
Yeah, they're real good.
They're perfect.
I've been saying it for years. Make it either way.
Yeah, I know.
So how impressive is that?
Does it too,
you never thought Apple would do it, right? And now they're being forced. How cool is that, man?
Yeah, they're being forced, right? That I believe. But two things. I think a lot of times when you're designing a system, I think a lot of things slip through the cracks and people don't even think about it. People like the guys that make the system, they don't even think about it. And then it goes out into the wild, right? Not just like their play testers or the people in their building, but it goes out to the wild. And then people are like, why isn't this simple thing there? Why isn't that simple thing there? And they're like, oh, we never even thought about it.
Right. I don't think real quick, I don't think they anticipated the need for micro USB cards, because I think they wanted it to be a bigger phenomenon than it was, and there would have been so many cheaper memory cards that they were making floating in the wild. They weren't trying to make it cost you $150 to find one in 2021, right? It's just the shake of the hand that happened because of the decisions that they made. But I don't think they were planning on robbing people blind long after a console's death. I think they wanted it to be successful and then have their proprietary memory cards for Sony that you bought for them to use their console, and they're cheap. You just have to buy ours. We don't want you using micro USDs.
Here's the thing. I hate to do it. I'm just gonna have to disagree with you fully.
No, you don't have to.
I hate to disagree fully.
You don't have to hate it.
I had to disagree with you fully, but the reason is the prices almost never changed. They were this expensive when it came out.
It was $300 for a memory card.
For 64 gig?
$300.
They were really expensive. I don't know. You couldn't even get the 64 gig when it came out. I think 32, and then they...
Yeah, the 64 was later.
Okay,
so then
even get that.
So then you didn't have to disagree. You were correcting. You were informing me. You weren't disagreeing. I mean, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Yeah.
It's just information you
I wasn't aware of.
Yeah. But
and that's
I think we're coming out of it, though. I think people are getting more used to having universal stuff. Like, USB-C. Like every controller now takes USB-C. Your Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation.
Xbox takes batteries.
Yeah.
It's right. They take batteries, but they all have the same cable. I use the same cable to plug both of them in. And that same port is on the Stadia controller. Like everything uses it. And it's about time.
Time out. You've seen a Stadia controller?
I've got one. I can go down and get it.
You have a Stadia?
Yeah.
Wow,
I do.
You're a historian?
Chromecast,
Does it work?
It works.
Is it good? Should I have one? Should everyone have one?
I think
might as well get the Steam Deck, bro.
Yeah, exactly. The Steam Deck's gonna be a better solution,
right?
Yeah,
Stadia's on your TV.
Stadia can be on anything, any browser, any Chrome browser,
and yet at the same time, it's on nothing.
I haven't tried it on my phone, but you could probably do it on your phone.
Don't say that, man. There's a console war that's going to happen in 5 years, and people are going to remember you said the best console in 20 years sucks.
If Stadia ever gets into a war with anybody, they will be immediately dispatched.
Yeah.
Stadia is like, if you're in a pinch, it's cool. Like if you're in a situation.
I don't know. Okay, for a minute, please let me elaborate on this. You do not underestimate Jeffrey Bezos, bro. Okay? Let me tell you something about this guy. He's putting people on the fucking moon. Do you know that William Shatner He's not on the moon. He's put him in fucking
Put him
subspace.
in space.
Okay,
Put him in
I got a rant about this, actually. I'm a little fucking upset. Listen to me a second. But
Stadia's
really,
Google,
this
man.
guy is so rich and so successful, and he does not stop, man. This guy, if he could get it, he gets it. He goes for it. If he sees a market, he goes for it. He gets it. This dude puts people in space. He put William Shatner this morning, 10:30 a.m. He put William Shatner in the stratosphere, and then when he landed, he called this guy an astronaut. Okay.
I mean,
no.
I don't know.
I had to complain about this.
I guess it depends on what your definition.
You
of
look up the
astronaut is.
definition of astronaut, and sure.
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't.
You can call William Shatner was in the stratosphere for like 2 minutes before they descended, and sure, by definition, you could call him and anyone else who's done it an astronaut. I have a gripe with this, man. There are people that had blood, sweat, and tears to get that title, to go to the moon, to be the first. They went through rigorous missions. People died with this title of astronaut. And you're letting people take a little quick joyride at the edge of the stratosphere, and you're giving everyone a pin and saying, "No, you're an astronaut."
He sent Captain Kirk to space, though. So
Two
No,
things.
it was the crew before it. Before he went up there, it was the crew before it. They were just a bunch of rich people and a scientist, and he said, "You're an astronaut now.
Yeah.
Every one of you, you're an astronaut. You're an astronaut.
Yeah.
You're an astronaut." I don't think Jeffrey Bezos. He doesn't work for NASA. And he's signing off resumes for NASA to hire. Oh, it's an automated system. They don't have to know anything. They get in a seat, bro, and they just go for a ride. It's a fucking space roller coaster is what they're going
expensive
on.
roller coaster.
And he's giving them credentials to go work at fucking NASA, bro. This is my problem that I have with this. They are astro tourists, man. They are not astronauts, bro. I have a real serious issue with
If you
this.
go on a cruise, are you a sailor?
But I'll tell you how brilliant that
If you go on a
is.
cruise, are you a sailor?
But I'll tell you how brilliant. If you go on a cruise,
Yeah.
no, you're not a fucking sailor. You're a tourist.
Just asking, bro. I'm just asking a question.
I'll tell you how
First of all,
brilliant.
Jeff, Amazon has nothing to do with Stadia. That's Google.
That's Google. Okay. well,
I get your
Yeah.
point. I get your point.
Luna,
Google
Amazon
has
Luna.
money. Google
Yeah.
has money.
Google's similar. Yeah.
And they are very similar.
Yeah.
And two, welcome to America, man. Hard work and dedication. That's for poor people.
Yeah, it's for pussies.
Okay.
Man. All right, listen though. I'll tell you how brilliant this was, because now all you need to be an astronaut is the very low sum of $20 million, and you too can do nothing but get the title of astronaut.
I think it's only
How
250.
crazy is that?
Man.
They're-
Only 250,000. It's
$250,000. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I didn't know the price, but I was just imagining.
It's a bargain.
Hey, $20 million can get you a lot.
But they're funding.
I'll get you a doctorate.
So
I'll
what
get
I
you
was
into
thinking,
any college in America.
Okay, so what I was thinking was, isn't Amazon having their own gaming thing going on?
Luna. Yeah, Amazon
Okay.
Luna. Yep.
So that's what I thought. I just went to that. Sorry,
They're
but
very similar. Yeah.
Jeff Bezos wants a market, man. He's gonna nail it, and he's gonna get the best people to make the best game. You're gonna see Amazon make some good games, man.
You remember the Amazon cell phone?
No, I don't remember the
That's
Amazon.
right. Nobody
cell phone.
does.
I don't need to.
right.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
He's putting
Yeah.
people in space right now and calling
Yep.
people astronauts for no reason. It's brilliant, man. He's getting in the minds of everyone and letting them think they can be astronauts for a very low sum. It's just brilliant, man. God,
Inspiring.
what an
One other
inspiration!
thing I wanted to say about
Wow.
the console thing with Ken is a lot of times they have to test things and they have to make sure things run, because you add something that you think won't be a problem, like, oh, we'll just make this Bluetooth accessible, and then your whole thing just breaks, and you don't know why. You got to figure it out. So that's why I think a lot of times changing stuff is like it's like steering the Titanic. It takes a long time.
I will say,
to
when you
actually
do
change
enable
course.
the Bluetooth on the Switch, you cannot have more than three or four controllers paired to it. It limits the number because you're kind of taking a slot there.
Oh,
if you're using the Bluetooth headset.
Yeah.
So, but
And,
So you
that,
get to
and that's,
Mario
and that's a
Party.
workaround.
You get to
That's
Mario
a workaround.
Party with
know?
Anre, Ken, and a Bluetooth headset. I love it.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
I wonder
So-
who's gonna win. I bet it's the headset. He's been
Right.
practicing, When we are around,
yeah.
he's sitting there just
PlayStation had the same thing with the whole can't change your name thing for freaking half a decade.
Yeah. And
It's
that was
like-
that was a
it
And
seems
now
like
you
it was
can.
easy,
You
but-
just got to give us money.
Yeah, it seems like it would be easy, but like
you could-
no, it's free. I think the first time. I think
The
That was
first time.
they set
Well,
the
hey,
primary
we're a
key
business.
of their database was your username,
Yeah.
which is like getting technical here, but anybody who's like a database administrator knows you don't do that, and they
Well,
did.
They did this way back in the day, and I
Yeah.
guess there are people who didn't think it'd be a big deal, and then like
No.
years and years later, like,
Yeah,
man, this is a big deal. Why did we do that? I
Right?
don't
Did
know.
we do this? Yeah.
The guy that did it was long gone. You know?
Yep. Yep.
So,
But
point I'm getting at
yeah.
is that you'd be surprised. Google might surprise you one day.
And
Everywhere had a beginning, right?
True.
Nintendo started with the first Nintendo, and now look at them. Google started with Stadia. Who knows what is next? The
funny
fact is
Stadia
that they're
story, though.
interested, and how far they invest themselves in that interest is what we'll see out of them. Could see something amazing, could see it fizzle out, but we don't know yet.
You're
so
right.
Can't
You're
put our
right.
money anywhere until we know.
But as rich as they are not afraid to.
You can't throw money at a game.
They're not afraid to go
can,
out there
actually. You can throw money at a
and
game.
try, and they're also not afraid to pull that plug.
Yeah, you can throw money at a game.
They pull the plug a lot
the
of
difference
times.
with Stadia, though, is people are actually buying the license. I don't want to say they're buying the games. They're buying the license to play these games and spending, in some cases, a pretty good chunk of money because, modern games, $60-$70. If you had, let's say a dozen games on Stadia and they just pull the plug on
Yeah,
that,
but you don't know how much they're actually spending, okay? So yeah, it's like it's $60 for a consumer to buy it, right? But if you're making a deal with them directly, they could be charging you $20 for a person or something, right?
If you game primarily on Stadia, please write in.
We want to know about it.
Please put it
We
in.
want to hear about it.
I just want to know why. I don't even
Stadia's
want to
one of
know
those
like
last
how
resort
it
things.
works. How's your internet?
That's rude, man. You don't want to know what they're playing on it at least.
You don't
want to know what they're playing on it at least.
I want to
That's
know
rude,
why.
man.
I want to know.
I want to know what you're playing.
What led you to make this decision? That's what I want to know.
There was one time I was stuck at a library with my kids. They had some class they were doing all day at the library. Library computers, they suck, right? But they have really fast internet. So instead of reading books and stuff, I went and found a computer setup. I signed into Stadia and I was playing a full-blown game on this little library computer, and it was seamless. Like did not miss a beat. I mean, it was running 60 frames. Yeah. It looked awesome. But that's the only time that was really useful for me.
Hardly seems worth it since you have to pay. But that's good. That's good.
All right, everyone, so
let me tell you a little parenting hack. How old's your oldest?
10.
And how old's your youngest?
8.
You put the 10-year-old in charge of the 8-year-old, and then you go home.
That's it. Right. Okay.
All right, everyone. So take
You're welcome.
Ken's advice here and don't get a PlayStation. Don't get a Switch. Don't even get a Stadia.
Don't get an Xbox.
Go to your local library and use their internet.
Just sign on their internet, man.
Play solitaire alone.
Stadia, the sales of Stadia are going to skyrocket now.
It is. It's going to catch on fire.
As is the patronage of your local library.
As y'all know, we may be crown king, but everyone's
royalty here.
Yeah.
The Stadia got a shout out. I love it.
Yeah, it's the super shout. The shout out of all consoles.
I didn't think the rant would involve the Stadia.